Hey, what's up? My name is Jesse Dowen. I'm a top 100 influencer agent here at eXp Realty. I'm also a 6-time Icon agent, and I've closed over 832 transactions on the eXp Realty platform. I've also generated over $1.1 million in revenue share, which is completely different than my real estate commissions. And I've also earned an incremental $200,000 worth of eXp stock through the Culture Program. Now, this channel gives you elite behind the scenes access to real numbers, real strategies, and up-to-dates here at eXp Realty so you can make the most smart decisions for you and your business. Now, if you're a serious agent like I think you are, who wants multiple revenue streams and real growth, this is the channel for you. Consider subscribing. And today I'm just going to talk about something very simple, and it's these numbers I actually showed from the last video, and it's actually from this page. So I take so many notes when I listen to great people, and I want to just talk about the formation of your business. So if you're a real estate agent and you're like wanting to start a team, or you just want to build a progressionary business, eXp does it from start to finish. There's a lot of people and a lot of brokerages out there that try to preach this whole one agent training platform. It's complete trash. Don't fall for it. At the end of the day, vanity metrics don't mean nothing. Profit is what matters. So I'm going to talk about how to build a real profitable business. And if you really just want the shortcut, you can just book a call with me. My Calendly link's down in the description, or scan this QR code right here. It'll be directly with me. It's not one of my agents, and we can have a conversation about how to take your business to the next level. I guarantee you there's a gap that you can take immediate action and inject 5 contracts in the next 30 days by taking these specific actions that I would talk to you about on our call. So how does a real business operate? And it's very simple in my opinion, but people overcomplicate it. The real shortcut is over here on eXp University's Team Leader Academy. This is a 32-week program. And even if you're a solo agent and you're wanting to build a long-term, scalable, sustainable business, it's right here at TLA, Team Leader Academy. Everyone in the world that's got a multiple 7-figure and even 8-figure commission business is built on the backs of what is taught in TLA. And this is like an ongoing evolution for your entire business. The thing I love about this is if you're a solo agent, you're wanting to build, you can start right here. You don't have to be a team leader, and it's very affordable. It's like $2,500. If you're a buy this outside of eXp, it's over 50 grand. So this is the shortcut realistically. So let's talk about the numbers in your business and how they should be broken up, because a lot of agents don't really understand that owning a real estate business is a business. A lot of people operate it as independent chickens with their head cuts off, and they're just throwing money everywhere. A lot of agents, they'll get a commission, $10,000, and they'll spend $10,000. It's like the story of athletes that make money. Like Shaq always talks about it. He got his first check, he went and blew it on cars, all these other things, and then his accountant's like, "Hey dude, where's your taxes?" And he's like, "What do you mean taxes?" Well, remember, as a real estate professional, you're running a business. So a lot of these items there's a big difference between deductions and credits. And everyone thinks they're going to get their corporate credit card or generate a business credit card. They're going to go out and they're just going to start blowing money. I've seen this happen so many times. And I still remember, I hear it even with my own agents, and it drives me nuts, where they're like, "Hey, I got my corporate credit card now, and now I can start charging my lunches, my groceries, my clothes, and all these things." There's a lot of red flags when it comes to expenditures. And I think hiring an accountant that does your bookkeeping is most important. If you need a referral for that, I have a fantastic one, and it's very inexpensive. He does my quarterly taxes, my bookkeeping, and my annual taxes. And I don't have to keep any receipts. I think a lot of people save a lot of receipts, and it's absurd. So if you were to earn, and I'm going to talk about the buckets of where this money should go, and also if you're building a team, what the split structure should be. So realistically, if you're building a business, and a true business, so if you're not a real business owner and you're just in here as a hobbyist, you can listen to this, and you can even comment down below if you think I'm off. But this is a tried and true structure that works for the top teams, top solo agents, and real business owners. So 10% should go to overhead straight off the top. So if you get a check for 10 grand, that's how you're going to break it down. So $10,000, 1,000 of that is going to go into a bucket for overhead. I'm talking about office, different things like that, and depending on what you need for your business. So overhead, 10% is going to go to staff. So that's going to be your transaction coordinator, that's going to be your assistant. And if you're just closing your first deal, If you read The Millionaire Real Estate Agent by Gary Keller, he says your first assistant should be an assistant, or your first hire should be an assistant. I think your first hire should be a transaction coordinator, realistically. But that's a double-sided equation that's hard to figure out, because you need to know what your strengths and weaknesses are. I knew that I never wanted to waste time filling out contracts or organizing them. It's probably the least favorite thing for me to do. So therefore, the first hire I ever made was my transaction coordinator. So remember, 10% to overhead, 10% to staff, 10% to marketing. So once again, $10,000, $10,000 commission. You got $1,000 to overhead, $1,000 to your staff, and $1,000 to now marketing. So what's that going to go? That's going to go into your signs. You're going to save for your website, social media marketing, etc., etc. Now, remember, you're not going to just all of a sudden have this massive fund of money, and everyone thinks money solves everything. No, smart money solves real problems. This is just how your money needs to be allocated to run a profitable business. 50% of your money, of your earnings, should be dedicated to your real estate team or your agent. So if you're a solo agent operating on this model, then this could be actually put into profit. And this is where everyone gets stuck, is they look at that big chunk of money and they're like, well, I could just pay myself. I'm telling you, it's an unscalable model. So if you're a solo agent and you never want to grow past, let's just say there's always going to be one-off situations where an agent's like, I close 150 homes a year and all I do is listings. Well, it's like, yeah, you probably have 3 assistants. You have someone hanging your signs, someone hanging your lock boxes. So that does go into having, staff or agents. And remember, your buckets can move around based on your business, but this is just the general idea of a traditional real estate agent's business. So 50% of that money is going to be dedicated to your teams. And from that, the real split structure, it should be 25% split to listing agents. So if you're running your split structure, the perfect split structure is 25% to listing agents and 40% to buyer's agents. I will get beat up in the comments all the time over this. At the end of the day, it's all about a mindset of your agents. We have team agents that make over $1 million a year on those splits. And guess what? It's all about leverage. It's all about opportunity. It's all about value. And it's all about how you build this thing. And once again, you don't just go from zero to $1 million in GCI as a team agent overnight. This takes time. It takes energy. And it takes a dedicated path to get you from A to Z. And are you going to follow the plan? And are you going to be good with being a board agent? Remember, board agents win at the end of the day. And then the last piece of that bucket, so it was 10% to overhead, 10% to staff, 10% to marketing, 50% to your agents, and lastly, that leaves you with 20%, and that's going to go to you as the team lead or the real estate agent. So remember, if you're just getting started, you can use that 50% for your agents saved for yourself. So realistically, you're making 70% of that money, and remember, off of that 70%, you're going to save 30% to taxes, and your goal is to get that down to zero. I'm not a tax expert, but there are a lot of great options out there for real estate professionals. And if you ever want to talk about taxes, you can always shoot me a text, schedule a call with me, and we can talk about taxes. It's kind of a boring conversation. However, I've probably referred 30, 40 agents to specific tax people. And the specific reasons is that as a real estate agent, you should be set up as an LLC. And if you're not, you're just operating as an independent person doing taxes, you're paying double payroll tax. So there's an automatic savings by setting up an LLC. And I know a lot of people are like, this is way too complicated. The biggest mistake people managing your taxes make is they try to prepay your quarterly taxes. So if you're an LLC, you pay quarterly taxes, and they'll just throw it out there. Hey, you're going to pay $10,000 a quarter. I freaking hate that. And the reason why is because real estate's very up and down for the most part. So if they don't spend enough or pay enough taxes, guess what? You're at the end of the year, you owe a big giant fat tax bill. And if you didn't save, you're screwed. Well, so what I ask my CPA and my tax person to do is every quarter, we always review our numbers to make sure we've paid enough money. Or if we've paid too much, we can dial it back and skip a quarter or take it to zero. I hate doing that also. And just remember, if you're getting a refund from your taxes, that's not really a win, to be honest with you, because when you have to pay the government taxes, that means you've extinguished every option and you squeezed every nickel out of that fund. Remember, the government knows exactly to the penny how much you owe them, but when they owe you, they don't tell you. So I'm always like, okay, it's just better if they tell me what I owe them, because now I know I'm getting the best benefits. And if you listen to some of the best tax people in the world, you know what the number one ejection that they always are used to is when they ask, if you ever seen trainings on tax accountants, they always say the number one thing that people say that they're happy with their accountant for is that they got them a refund. And the smartest guys always say that is exactly why you shouldn't be using that accountant, is because this is why we don't want refunds. And it totally makes sense. So if you're paying the government at the end of the year, that means you're extinguishing all options. However, if you're not set up as an LLC, you're automatically wasting money. So get to the point of where you're starting from the very beginning the right way. And the thing that blows my mind about real estate agents in general is they're like, you can get your real estate license and start an entire business for less than $5,000. It's absolutely mind-blowing. You can't start any other business on the planet that's a respectful career, that's probably a 6-figure plus annual salary, where you can invest $5,000. You want to be a dentist, a doctor, a lawyer, the list goes on. You're going to be investing hundreds of thousands of dollars. Opening a restaurant, guys, real estate, I think if you're connected to someone in real estate, and even if you're a young entrepreneur, it's the greatest opportunity of anyone's life to become a real estate agent. I think I absolutely love it. The thing I love the most is that real estate really provides an even playing field for anybody. Real estate doesn't discriminate. It's all about who does the activities, who takes the action, who generates the income, and then it's all about scaling that up. The only place on the planet that does it better than EXP is EXP. So if you want to have that conversation, reach out, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, or even schedule a call on my calendar link right here in this QR code. And until next time, we'll catch you later.